Hi and welcome to a video on the Casio PX-S1000 Privia digital piano. As you can see, it's an 88 note length keyboard and the keys are weighted and they have a slight ivory feel texture to the top of them, and they have a matte finish rather than the shiny, slightly slippery feel of an electronic keyboard. So let's have a listen to the first tone, the concert grand piano. So you can hear straight away, because we've got this large 88 note keyboard, we can easily extend our playing down into the bass end and also some of those ethereal bell-like sounds at the top end of the keyboard as well. There are 17 full keyboard tones built into the instrument, and like a lot of things on the keyboard, you have to press one of these buttons along the top of the panel and then some keys on the keyboard itself. You'll notice that the keyboard is very minimal in design. There's only this raised volume control here and an indentation for the power on and power off button here. Everything else is flat. Again, giving you the feeling this is more of a piano than an electronic keyboard. And in order to change the tones, you have to hold down the grand piano button and then select some notes in the bottom end of the keyboard. So for instance, if I play this note, you can immediately hear that a little reference tone that shows you that we're going to move to a harpsichord tone. So now we've got harpsichord. And there are also other tones as well. We've got electric piano tones, we've got some string tones. Because we've got the range of the keyboard, we can really go to town playing some of those deep bass notes that the cellos or double basses might play in an orchestra. There's another button alongside which says electric piano. Really, these two buttons just give you quick access to either a piano, acoustic piano, or to an electric piano. So if I press grand piano, I know that I'm straight back to the concert grand. If I press electric piano, I know that I'm straight to an electric piano. What you can do is actually layer two tones together, and that's done by holding down the electric piano tone and then one of the notes up here. So here we've got upper tone 1, we're going to have a grand piano. Let's layer that with a string tone. So first of all, I need to enable layering, hold down electric piano, press this note. We get a little beep just to indicate that that's what we've done. Now I can select a string tone, holding down the electric piano tone this time rather than grand piano. And now we've got acoustic piano, concert grand piano with some strings. It's worth noting that on this keyboard there's a maximum 192 note polyphony, which means that you'll never really run out of notes. If you're sustaining notes and tones, they won't cut off other tones while you're holding them. So that's a really excellent feature, that there's such an amount of polyphony on this instrument. If I want to just go back to a single tone, again, it's just press either of those tones. We're back to grand piano without the strings. There's also a built-in music library of 60 songs, and to access those you hold down the play and stop button here, and then again press some keys on the keyboard. I'm going to press this one, and then now press play. You can hear that little minuet by Bach. You can change the tone. It doesn't have to be played on an a piano tone. I could change that to harpsichord. So let's listen to that first of all. Piano. Let's change it to harpsichord. You can also adjust the speed of it, the tempo. You can also turn on and off the left or the right part, so you could practice along with it. So let me do that for you. So there I muted one part so you could just hear the left part, and then we just heard the right part, and then we heard both parts together. There's also a metronome built in. Just again press the metronome button and it will come on. You can adjust the volume, the tempo and the number of beats by holding down the metronome and pressing some notes in the bottom range of the keyboard. So for instance, if we wanted 3 beats in a bar, hold down metronome and then press this note here. We've now got 3 beats on our metronome. And if you don't want the bell ringing at all, you can turn that off by pressing this note. So now we just get the clicks. We've also got the ability to record one song of our own with 2 tracks. So let me show you how to do that. Here we've got a button for recording, and you just touch that button and it will flash. It will also flash on the play and stop button, and also L, the letter L signifying left, will flash as well. So I can now record a track. It doesn't have to be a left-hand part. It can be anywhere on the keyboard. And as soon as I start playing, it will start recording. When I finish, press stop. Press play to listen back. Now I can add a second track, and I can actually use a different tone. So let's try a different tone. We're going to use some strings. These ones are a bit more attacking. So let's have a go at that. Again, press this button here, press it again, and R should be flashing, so we're going to be recording on the second track. And here we go. Press stop, and we can now listen back to our song. If you want to delete that part, there's not much option for editing, but you can just delete that track just by, again, going into record mode and just pressing start and then stop straight away. And now we've erased the second track. We can now record a new part if we wanted to over the top. There are also some built-in digital effects. You've got 4 types of reverb. There are also some surround sound effects which won't come across on this recording because they only will occur when you're using the sort of built-in speakers. So the speakers are on the back of the keyboard, and then they're also a little sort of grill, some space here behind the keys where the sound comes out this way a little bit. In terms of connections, there are 2 sockets on the front for headphones using the mini jack. So you could play a duet with somebody and you can both be listening on headphones without disturbing anybody else. You can also split the keyboard and create, in effect, 2 halves to the piano so that you can play in the same range as each other. And, you know, it'd be good for a teacher teaching a student and giving example of how to play a certain part. And around the back, we've got 2 outputs, line outputs, a left and a right output. And at the moment, I'm using those to go into a mixer around the back. There's also a jack socket for a standard kind of foot switch pedal, which can be used for as a damper or a sustain pedal. You can set it to different things. It can even start and stop the metronome. But there's also another connection here, and you can purchase a 3-pedal unit, which is what I've got connected at the moment, which allows you to have a damper pedal, a sostenuto pedal and a soft pedal in one unit. So at the moment I've got it connected, so the right hand pedal acts as a damper or a sustain pedal, and will hold the notes until I lift the pedal. The left hand pedal acts as a soft on and off pedal, reducing the volume a little bit. So if I play with the same sort of weight and touch, it just reduces the volume a little bit. And the middle pedal is a sostenuto pedal, so I can sustain some notes and then play detached notes elsewhere on the keyboard. So you play some notes, hold them down with that pedal, and now you can play detached. You can play detached notes elsewhere on the keyboard. So that's pretty much it for the piano. There's another model in this range, the 3000, which has more built-in rhythms and accompaniments like you'd find on an electronic keyboard. You can also adjust the tone of the piano. There's a thing called an acoustic simulator, so you can adjust the response of the hammers, the key off response, string resonance, the key on action noise as well, all for giving you that effect of a piano, that isn't just a kind of on-off kind of piano sound. You get quite an authentic tone. I would say when I'm listening through this through the speakers, you don't get such a good bass response as you do on headphones. But if you plugged it into an amplifier with a larger speaker, then you'll get a good piano tone out of it, I'm sure. So I hope that's useful to you. I'm going to do another video comparing this to the CTX-3000, which, although is an electronic keyboard, I think it's worth just comparing the tones on this one, on the Privia, with the electronic keyboard, because they use two different ways of creating their tone. And it's worth just having a listen and comparing and contrasting the piano tones on each of those instruments. So again, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.